Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach, and you're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. We are moments away from kickoff, and we've got a good one on tap between the Carolina Panthers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So with that, let's get you up to Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. Standing by for the call, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the steel capital of the world, Pittsburgh, PA, at Heinz Field. This was the scene just a few moments ago as the Pittsburgh faithful were fired up by the hometown Steelers taking the field. They're all set as they'll match up with the Carolina Panthers. Hi again, everyone. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. With me, as always, Charles Davis. And, Charles, we look at a matchup like this. It's really the running backs that may take center stage here today.
And in today's football, they're still valuable, not just as runners, but guys who can catch the ball as well. It's really the number of touches that determines things these days.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So the Steelers offense getting set for their first drive. They'll be led out by a man who's becoming an elder statesman among quarterbacks in the league, drafted back in 2004. It's Ben Roethlisberger.
We talk so often about his physical attributes. Of course, the Big Ben nickname, his ability to take hits in the pocket, his ability to extend plays and get outside of the pocket. But how about this for efficiency? Top 10 in career NFL passer rating, and he's one of the top 5 winningest quarterbacks in NFL history. That's pretty darn good.
There's the first carry for Le'Veon Bell, and he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down. On your screen now, here are the offensive starters. At wideout, Antonio Brown is certainly someone that the defense always has to account for.
Without a doubt, a true #1 receiver. It doesn't matter to him how defenses want to cover him. He sees it as a challenge and knows how to defeat them.
On second down, it's Bell. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. It'll only be a gain of a yard, and it sets up a 3rd down and 4 now. And the starting defense here for the Panthers.
Spotlight, please, on Shaq Thompson. I always go back to his time at the University of Washington. Played some minor league baseball in the offseason. Could have been a big-time running back, maybe even a safety, and has settled in as a good, strong outside linebacker in the NFL whose forte is speed.
And they'll look to avoid an early 3 and out here on 3rd and 4. To throw here, Roethlisberger. And he finds McDonald. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It'll be a gain of 17 and a Pittsburgh first. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there. If he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has to slide and find open space to throw.
Now a 1st down carry by Bell, and he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play there, 2nd down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game, because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
On 2nd down, here's Roethlisberger. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked by Kevon Seymour. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. The Panthers offense here, they get ready to head back on the field. Good starting position for the Panthers as they come up 1st and 10. Now following the interception, here's Newton. And incomplete to open things up. He was looking for the connection with Devin Funchess. That'll bring up 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. First carry for Christian McCaffrey. And he'll get this up to about the 38-yard line. Call it about a gain of 3, and they'll be looking at a 3rd and 7 coming up.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on 1st down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in the expected passing situation.
Throwing on 3rd down, Newton. And that is incomplete.
I think we'll see more of them trying to get him the football out of the backfield. They love what he can do in open space, and they believe that he creates mismatches they can exploit.
So on 4th down, kicking it away here, Michael Pilardi. Back deep for the Steelers, Antonio Brown. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Steeler offense now, ready to see what they can do here. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
But how about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said it didn't lead to points, stalled off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves and maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one.
Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at the 20. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw.
The effort's always going to be there. Everyone's always going to try and make a catch, but underthrown balls, I think, are the toughest ones to come back and get because usually your momentum's going in the opposite direction when you're trying to stop, break, and come back and get it.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Now Roethlisberger. And that'll be incomplete. Antonio Brown, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd down.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Now it's Roethlisberger. This one complete right side to McDonald. And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
But when you hit him on the move like that, he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. Roethlisberger with a give to Bell. And he'll get across midfield and into Carolina territory. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
On 2nd down, Roethlisberger. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Brown. And he's brought down. Brown, his first catch. It's a 1st down. And connection number 1 there on the game, Roethlisberger to Boney Tony. Antonio Brown, that's what his high school teammates used to call him.
I wonder what they would call him now.
More muscular, more successful Boney Tony Brown, right?
I'd say you're probably right. They may be all of that. They'll still call him Boney Tony, but Ben Roethlisberger calls him my number 1 target.
On 1st down, it's Roethlisberger. Throw left side, complete to Smith-Schuster. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down. They'll go back to the ground with Bell. And a short gain down to about the 33. He'll pick up only a yard there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 7. The completion on 1st didn't get much, and now the run on 2nd doesn't get a whole lot either.
Well, if you're a good play caller, you've already looked ahead and anticipated this type of situation. Already down in his play sheet, trying to dial up a big 3rd down play.
And before they can get settled in here, time expires on the 1st quarter of action. Can't wait to see what the 2nd quarter has in store. More from the Steel City coming up after this. Back with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's Steeler football to begin quarter number 2. They're on the march, but facing a 3rd down here. Here's Roethlisberger. And this is going to be incomplete. James Bradbury, he was right there to break it up.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
So on 4th down, the Steelers call on the number of Chris Boswell for the field goal try. From the left hash, it's an even 50-yard attempt. That's leaking to the right, and he missed it by a foot or 2. It's no good, and this will remain a scoreless game.
Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here.
They were forced to punt last time, and I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot, great opportunity to run your full playbook. If they want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
They try the 50-yarder and miss it, and now this offense has it 1st and 10 at the 40. The drive begins with a run by McCaffrey, and he takes it past the 45 and down at the 46. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
To throw on 2nd down is Newton. Oh, nearly picked. And maybe lucky there. This guy doesn't drop many defensively. 3rd down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Out of the gun, Newton. And he finds a man. It's McCaffrey. And he gets it down to the 48, enough for the 1st. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
I don't think what we just saw there was any surprise, because when Christian McCaffrey came out of Stanford, we knew he was a threat running it and catching it. And any way you can get the ball in his hands, he wanted to do so. Personally, I thought he ran the best routes of anyone coming out of his draft class, and that included the wide receivers.
Last year, 80 receptions, also in the return game. He's a bit of a Swiss Army knife, isn't he?
He certainly is. Every which way you want to go, however you want to package him, I do think his running production will increase in 2018.
And down to the 44, 5 yards that time.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on 1st down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
C.J. Anderson of the game. He gets it here. And he's going to get stopped up quickly. Give him a yard down to the 43.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Newton now to throw. And that is incomplete.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this 3rd down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
So on trots the field goal unit, and wow, this is going to be a challenge here. They spot it on the midfield stripe, so it is a 60-yard attempt here. That's on target, but it's no good. He had it on line, but it came up just shy of the crossbar, and this will remain a scoreless game. So it's an empty possession, and as a kicker, not the way you want to start your day's work.
And now each team's missed a field goal here so far, Brandon, so apparently neither guy is immune.
The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, well, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this into enemy territory, but not by much, as he's down to the 48. On the tackle, it's Captain Munnerlyn.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On the counter, here's Bell. He doesn't find a ton of space following the display of quick feet down just inside the 45. 4 yards on the pickup there, as it'll leave him with a third and about 4 more for a first.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
From the gun on third down, it's Roethlisberger. And this is going to be incomplete. Coverage there by Kevon Seymour.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
On fourth down, here comes the Steeler punter Jordan Berry to kick it away. Christian McCaffrey deep for Carolina. Now the Panthers offense, they get set to come back onto the field. And the last go-around for them, they tried that really, really long field goal, couldn't connect.
And in retrospect, I think a lot of people would say, well, why would you try one that long? You hurt yourself in field position. The ball comes out, you know, there. That only helps the other team. But I look at it as maybe it was a double shot of confidence. Confident the kicker could make it. And even if he missed, confident in their defense that they could hold him.
So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. A shotgun snap for Newton. This is caught. It's Greg Olsen. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs. 2 minutes remain in a scoreless first half. Back to Heinz Field after this. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll check in with our Jonathan Coachman. He'll have highlights and analysis of the first half, and our highlights will likely be on the defensive side of the football here. Scoreless game. Now whistles. Flag down, and I believe one of the Panthers got moving early.
False start, offense.
And that'll set them back 5.
Still first down.
A false start backs him up 5. 1st and 15. From the gun, here's Newton. Caught left side by Funchess. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. The Panthers got to go quickly. They're moving with a sense of urgency right now. On 2nd down, here's Newton. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. The veteran Morgan Burnett there on the coverage.
They've been playing sound fundamental defense thus far and able to keep this offense from creating a major dent on the scoreboard.
Able to force the incompletion, but still waiting for that game-changing play. You feel like it's coming, the first sack, the first turnover.
In a sense, they're playing old school defense right now. The new school defense is what you said, taking the ball away.
The Panthers on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. To the air again, Newton. And that's incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Here's Michael Pilardi now. On for his second punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin him back. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. They'll throw on first down with Roethlisberger. Over the middle here to Brown. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play, but what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
And the Steelers on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. And James has it. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. So the offense takes the timeout, and they are back out and ready to rock. Final play of the half. It's Roethlisberger. He's going deep for Brown. And it's caught. It's Brown. Touchdown Steelers. Antonio Brown, as time expires in the first half. And the Steelers are able to strike for 6. And just before the half ends, the prayer is answered. Defensively, a disaster there.
I know often we're surprised when this actually works. I mean, the excitement level goes way up, but maybe we shouldn't be, because I know as a defender, you've got to play the ball in this situation, but you can't interfere with the receiver because, remember, it's a spot foul, and it'll be 1st and goal if it happens in the end zone, and you don't want to give up that play, and that little bit of hesitancy often works really well for offensive guys.
So we reach halftime here in the Steel City with the Steelers on top. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome, everybody, to our abbreviated version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This one's been a hard-fought battle to this point. 7-0 is the score, with neither offense really able to get on track. But let's not waste any time. We'll get you right back out to Brandon and Charles for the second half.
Boswell on now to kick this one away. On the return, it's Kenyon Barner. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Out come the Panthers. They'll have it first on offense in the third quarter.
These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Newton to throw. It's hauled in by Torrey Smith. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
Despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game.
First down. Here's the run with Anderson. So a loss of 5, and it'll be second down.
Brandon, that play typifies what we've seen from the offense all day long. They've had no success getting things going. I think for the offensive coordinator, he's got to go to that side of the play sheet that says try something different, try some specials, something they haven't seen all day to try and get this offense kick-started.
Another run, this time McCaffrey. And he's got room. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. They give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains.
Would you say this offense is locked in right now?
They're having no trouble on this drive. What is it, 3 plays, 3 first downs?
Yeah, you talk about on the march. They keep this up, they'll get to that end zone real fast.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Now, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, maybe he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out and had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
On 2nd down, McCaffrey. And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41.
Oftentimes we praise an offense for their variety of being able to hit people with the run in the pass. But in this game, how about what we're seeing from the safeties? They are all over the field. Doesn't matter if they threw it or if they're trying to run it.
I don't think we've ever awarded an MVU, most valuable unit, but you're right. It might go to them in this game.
I like that. MVU. Well done.
Here's Newton. And that is incomplete.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. So this will be spotted on the midfield logo. It's a 58-yard attempt, and that one's not going to get there. Not enough juice, an ambitious effort, but it's well short. And this score will stay right where it is. So 2 missed field goals for them now, and that's helped keep them with a big 0 on the scoreboard.
Well, it's not the only reason they have a 0. The offense has been bogged down a few times now, but it's certainly not helping the cause any at all.
Now let's discuss Antonio Brown as he heads back out there now. Pretty good game for him so far. I guess he's still got time here to make this a great game, but so far he's been solid.
I like where you're going with that because it has been pretty good, but there's always that hint that things can really escalate for him. And right now they feel like they're somewhat keeping him in check, but he has found the end zone once. But boy, he can explode at any moment.
Yeah, and when you hit that end zone once, you want to find it again, don't you?
Yes, you do.
Makes you hungrier.
You get greedy in a good way.
They'll start out on the ground with Bell. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Again, it's Bell. And very little running room there. He did get a couple up to the 49.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
And the Steelers on third down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. He's going to float this one deep right side. Got his man. It's caught for a Steelers touchdown. James Washington, 51 yards. And the Steelers find a way to stretch their lead. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
Extra point now by Boswell. Extra point put through by Boswell, and it's now 14-0. Scoring summary, 3-play drive, and it ends with the Steelers finding the end zone. Boswell on now to kick this one away. Now it's Barner. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Here are the Panthers now as their offense comes back out onto the field. And last time out, another missed field goal, so maybe their confidence wavering a little bit right now in the kicking game.
And I'm with you on that. I think at this stage, they'd love to not run him back out there in a tough situation. But let's face it, they may have to. So right now, the head coach is talking to the offense coordinator and saying, call this game like we're going to put it in the end zone. Let's try and take the field goal out of it.
So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 at their own 27. This is Newton off the play fake to McCaffrey. And he finds a man on the crossing route. And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
his position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. On first down, Newton. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he takes this one down all the way near the 30. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. Newton. Smith catches left side. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. That pass play wound up for negative yardage, so here's 2nd and 11. Again, Newton. They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter of action. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Pittsburgh. It's the Panthers in possession of the football, but facing a deficit here as we get to the 4th and final quarter of play. The Panthers on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 8. Throwing again is Newton. And this is going to be incomplete. Artie Burns, former first-rounder, there to break that one up.
And we just saw another example. These cornerbacks have played tight coverage all game long. Might start wanting to think about a few double, triple move routes to try and shake their guys free.
They have, you're right, they have had no room to breathe. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Ron Rivera, the gambling type, but he comes up empty here. And this Steeler defense able to come up with a stop. So they really needed points here in a 2-score game. Could not come away with anything there on 4th.
And while we know they're a little bit discouraged here, they can't check out of this game. You and I have called a good number of games over the course of our career where we've seen these types of situations. Teams get the ball back, and that miracle does occur. So they can't let that dream go just yet. They have to get stout on defense here.
Yeah, right now really hoping for a turnover. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 right at the 30. They'll start the drive with a carry by Bell. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. Tackle made by K'Wan Short. And the trend continues here in the fourth like it was in the first, second, and third. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is, he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
They'll go again with Bell. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back, those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
On 3rd down, Roethlisberger. And he finds McDonald. Pittsburgh getting 16 yards there and also a 1st down. Big hook up there, forced to throw it on 3rd down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
Roethlisberger now hitting on 2/3 of his passes, 10 for 15 so far. 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And an alley to run. And he'll take it down shy to 45 at the 46. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. And I just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. On 2nd down, here's Roethlisberger. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Now Roethlisberger going to hand to Bell. And little room to maneuver there. He gets it down to about the 39. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. The give is to Bell, and little room to maneuver there. He gets it down to about the 39. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. They've got a 3rd down now as they look for one more 1st down to help salt this one away. A give to Bell. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. This is Bell. And he'll keep it moving down to the 15-yard line. And now we're going to get a timeout defensively. So another stop, 1:50 left in the football game. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. Roethlisberger going to throw it. And bulldozing his way through. Man open left side is Brown. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. Now Bell. And he'll take this one down inside the 5 to the 3. Give him 3 on the gain there. 2nd and goal. Able to stay in bounds, so the clock keeps rolling. And this defense right now backed up in the red zone. Another touchdown, it's over. They've got to stand tall quickly.
Been in this spot before. Now there's a little bit of desperation creeping in, and all you're doing when you're talking to your defensive teammates is first guy there, hold him up. Second, third guy in, rake it the football. Get it out. We've got to create a turnover because
under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Shaq Thompson in from his linebacker's spot. He's able to drop him for a loss of about 10.
When you're this close to the goal line, you've got to expect pressure from the defense, so the ball's got to come out fast. Got to get out of his hands quicker.
So the sack, and now a 3rd and long situation for the Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger. Roethlisberger dropping to a knee, and that ought to do it. Well, they could just run this clock out, but here is the field goal unit on 4th down. The storyline in this one, Charles, no doubt the number 0. Zilch, nada. A shutout so hard to do in the NFL.
It really is, and what an accomplishment, because you feel that not just on the defensive side, but as a full team. There's a lot of pride that goes into shutting out an opponent. And how about that 0 on the scoreboard for them, going along with those zeros in the time column too.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. The Steelers are winners as we say so long from Heinz Field.